Hello, hello. I have arrived. Artist, archivist, oop. This time I forgot to uncover my webcam. Anyway, artist, archivist, future man, and tonight. Yeah, Alchemist, there we go. The same thing I was yesterday. Anyway, so. Where was I? Right, Atelier. You can call me Tiberius Vanderfield. Hello, hello. Alright, anyway. So, with that then, let's go over business for today. So, once again, as I was saying, we are playing Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories, and the Envisioned Land. Other than that, not a whole lot to be said about this specific day, I suppose. But I suppose, you know, we are streaming the game. That is how we do things around here. Anyway, see us. So, tonight, Atelier, as stated. Tomorrow, we should be seeing some more, Arknights. There we go. But yes. So, originally I was expecting that I might be delayed on this day. But yeah, it turns out that I had something to do, but I had the dates mixed up. I will actually be doing that next Friday. So yes. So, with that said, next Friday, we might be delayed, or we might not, who knows. But probably we will be. But yes, other than that, Saturday, again, there is the possibility, if some things go very strangely on that day, yes, this Saturday specifically, just to be clear, yes, there is a definite possibility that this Saturday, we could see some changes to the usual schedule. But it is fairly unlikely, and I will do my best to make sure that things happen roughly as we expect them. Yes, so you can expect the 8:30 p.m. or the Saturday stream at about 8:30 p.m. Central Time, as per usual. But yes, so next week, assuming that nothing else changes in the meantime, yeah, we should be seeing some more another Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday schedule. But yes, and Saturday. But yes, so the Monday stream would be, in that case, I might need to, no, okay, yes. I briefly forgot what the schedule was. So yes, so Monday would be Atelier, Tuesday would be Arknights, Thursday would be Atelier again, Friday would be Mika and the Witch's Mountain, and then Saturday would be Arknights again. There we go. But yes, the Thursday and Friday streams you can usually expect to be around 9 p.m. Central Time, and then all the rest you can expect to be around 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So yes, so that should cover us, more or less. So, with that being said, let's get into the game. So yes, so, as we get into the game, if my controller decides to work, which it seems like it may not. Strange. But yes, I've had the problem, oh, here we go. Anyway, I wanted to show off the change in the menu here, but my controller decided to just kind of not work there for a second, which is, it seems to be not working in a way that is distinct from the previous ways that it didn't work, which is strange, somewhat concerning perhaps. But yeah, not sure how to account for that, but it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, we've got Rutger on the screen now. And I realized, as I was trying to set this up, it had started the intro cutscene, or the, intro is not the word I'm looking for, but yes, the eye catch cutscene at the start of the game. But yes, I had seen Rutger in that, so that's probably where I recognized him from. I feel like we saw him in the game at some point before he joined the party. But I might be wrong on that. I might be thinking of just someone else with some similarities. Anyway, so, last time around, Rutger asked us to show him, as per the description of the quest here, a display of alchemy. So, we shall oblige. But yes, very conveniently, because I did want to go back here and do some, craft some gear anyway. So yes, so, let us go and display some alchemy. I was going to say it's a bit unfortunate that our furniture doesn't appear in the cutscene, but I suppose if it did, they'd need to account for the fact that you could very well block the main path into the Atelier. Anyway, he doesn't seem too impressed so far. He seems rather unimpressed, in fact. To be fair, it is something of a ruined building. It's a nice ruined building, as far as ruined buildings go. You might be having some tea, it seems. I don't think you'd like the attempt to steal them. I wonder if some of the unused rooms will start to get used at this point, as we... It seems that perhaps maybe that is the implication, yes. Yes, as we get new teammates. Because yeah, again, I noticed how Rutger seemed to be focused on parts of the building that we had never really done much with. I imagine Rutger probably has a trick for opening this door. A bit less finesse than I expected, but hopefully this should do. The door seems to still be closed. It might be a little bit more complicated. Alright, Mr. Treasure Hunter, do you have any more applicable skills? It seems like perhaps not. Maybe someday we'll find someone who is able to unlock the door, and in doing so, unlock its incredible secrets. Now, I was kind of expecting that Rutger would maybe pick the lock or something like that, but I suppose there is no obvious lock to pick. What indeed are we doing with this?
それでここで得た知識でどうにか直せないかって試行錯誤してました。
Yeah, I wonder what else will, if this will have any sort of gameplay implications.
母親の形見という話だったな。
This repair of Flammy.
調子はどうなんだ。
まだ見通しは立っておりません。
あんたが言わなくていいの。でも一つここに残されてた情報で、調合品に付与する新たな力の創造。
Okay, so maybe not for Flammy, but we do have more options for crafting. That's nice.
なるほど。錬金術について知る。君が調査団に参加した目的だと言っていたな。
はい。ただこれはあくまで私個人の研究なので、あまり行き過ぎないように気をつけます。
I suppose we'll probably get a tutorial on that as we get into the process of making Rutger's weapon.
君の主はまっすぐだな。
Yumia is very responsible.
ユミヤは寝るときにいつもくの字に折れ曲がるので、フラミーはあまりまっすぐとは思い
Well,
ません。
Victor wasn't saying anything about her posture. Victor was saying that her head is on straight.
そうか。
Alright, you can use a trait blending station to mix 4 trait crystals into 1 new trait crystal. I think they mentioned something about trait blending last time around, which kind of rolled off of my back like water off of a duck, because I did not have any idea what they were talking about. But it seems that this is what they were talking about. In order to perform blending, the following conditions must be met. Choosing a trait crystal as a base, choosing 3 trait crystals to use as ingredients, ranking up the base trait crystal. So yeah, so this isn't, it doesn't seem to be anyway, a way to make, it doesn't seem to be a way to make new trait crystals, in so much as it is a way to improve trait crystals that you already have. Additionally, in order to blend more powerful trait crystals, you will need to learn skills from the skill tree. Alright. Yes, a scythe indeed. Yes, we need to synthesize an altered scythe. Is that what he has already? I suppose the abilities that we give it are what make it noteworthy. Alright, so we have the... oh, we don't have an ingot, which we do need. So yeah, so the altered scythe is... ooh, okay. Max HP up, we definitely want that if we can get it. Yes, altered scythe is an ice item. I don't know if that will necessarily matter too much for us, but it is in fact true. So yes, so one way or the other though, we need to get some ingots. So yeah, I'm surprised we don't have any at all, but I suppose we never really went out of our way to get them. Yes, so attack up should be good. Yeah, that would be good for any weapons that we make. So yes, so we probably want to get as much attack up as we can. I think more resonance is probably good, hopefully. But yes, that... yeah, using an ice item here would give us more area, but we don't necessarily need that. Let's see. Quality boost, that would be good. I want to get a little bit more of an area. Now we need to sort it, rather. Yeah, we need a little bit more resonance if we can get it. This is pretty good. I don't know if we want to use any of these right now. Because we don't have a lot of them. It looks like we can get pretty close with neutralizers and whatnot. So if we made better neutralizers, we could probably get better results. Yeah, probably pretty substantially better results too, honestly. Yeah, all that is to say that this spun thread probably isn't that far outside the realm of what we reasonably could make in terms of at least resonance area. So all of that is to say that I probably don't need to be that precious about making sure that we don't use it up. The items that we have exist to be used, after all. Yes. So,
材料はあったかな。
I don't think we want to make use of... Oh, actually, I guess we don't need...
使う材料は
Can we just remove this? Yes.
材料はあ
Because
ったかな。
I hadn't taken into account that we could just use the bonus here. And that way we get all the mana,
この調子で
and
集め
we
よう。
resonate with all of these cores. So that's good.
材料はあったかな。
So yes. So with that, I feel like it probably doesn't matter that much what else we do.
使う
We want this to be
材料は
pretty decently high quality if we can get it. It looks like we won't be able to get it, the resonance much higher unless we use Spun Thread or one of these spell books. But, again, like I said, items exist to be used, so. Alright, so. More quality
材料はあった
is,
かな。
in theory, better. Let's see. We have a lot of... Yeah, we have a lot of Ametite ore. I suppose we could probably just go in and synthesize a lot of ingots, and probably... Well, no, because it requires... Yeah, it requires ore as an ingredient. Yeah, I was going to say, we could use that... We could use those ingots to craft more ingots, and while that is true... While that is true, we couldn't use it to craft... Actually, I just realized, since we have the greenhouse, that means that we can replicate materials. Which means that maybe we shouldn't have used that spun thread right away. I don't know if there's any limitations to that
少し
yet.
材料も整理しようかな。
Let's not spend too much time on this, though. Bolt, okay.
材料はあったかな。
So yeah, again, the neutralizer would be very good for this. Actually, we didn't use the spun thread, did we? You removed it, right? Or no? Oh no, we used a spell book. Which we do have extra of, so that's good. Anyway, so, mana, or all that.
この調子で集めよう。
Yes, very good.
使う
And for
材料
this,
は
I am not too, I don't feel too fussed about whatever it is. Might as well just use whatever we have, really. We could actually get a little bit more quality out of it if we use something slightly higher
材料
quality
は
than
あった
this.
かな。
Something with slightly more resonance. That gives resonance area, but it doesn't give resonance the actual number. There we go. Alright. So yes. High quality ingots means high quality weapons,
こんな感じかな。
in theory. Alright. So,
うまく
with
できた
that,
かな。
we have made some pretty decent ingots, I imagine. And we can use those to make a pretty decent site. So yes. So then, rates, effects. So yeah, so again, we want to get max HP up as much as we possibly can, because max HP is very important for Rutger. He has a lot of effects that care about his HP, spending it, or how much he has spent, whether he's below a certain amount and whatnot.
材料はあったか
And
な。
I imagine that's going to become more and more true as he continues to level up. So yes. So, green neutralizer.
この調子で集めよう。
Yes, that's quite a bit of max HP up. That's nice. So yes, so these slots don't matter too much, I don't think. We could keep using the neutralizers because we do have a fair amount of those.
使う材料は。
Alright, max HP up 4. Yes, we want traits because we want trait
使う
crystals.
材料は。
Alright, attack up is also good.
材料はあったかな。
Yes, fire here. We don't have any great red neutralizers, I think. I don't know. We've got perfectly sufficient ones at the very least. But yeah, yeah, we don't have anything that has enough resonance to cover all of these, I don't think.
材料はあったかな。
We can still collect all the mana if we play our cards right, but Yeah, for right now, a red neutralizer would be perfectly fine. Let's see, was this? I feel like... Okay, no, that it does have a... Whoops. Does have a fire bonus on it, which is what we wanted. Yes, do we need to make use of... We do need to use slightly better stuff, and we want to get all of the mana off of this. Which we might as well, I suppose. Alright, very nice. So yeah, so one slot is not a lot of slots, but it's probably about the best that we can expect at this point. Inactive, we will activate it. Ice. Was this an ice item? I think it was, yes. Okay. So yes, an air slot. Yes, so green neutralizers are quite effective here. Alright, and then something with a useful effect would be good. Defense up? Defense up could be good. If he's going to be taking damage from himself, it'd be ideal if we also took somewhat less damage from enemies. I don't know if that's going to be accomplished here, but... Yeah, okay, yeah. It does look like we're just getting the... Well, no, we did have actually some attack from... We did see the ingot give an attack bonus. And there is 1 point of defense on the scythe now, which may or may not have something to do with the cloth that we added to this. Alright, so, with that, that's the first piece of, like, gear that we've made for a character. So yes, these bits of clothing are things that we also want to craft at some point, I imagine. So yeah, other things... Yeah, I think we might spend a good amount of time working on that today. I don't know if I'm going to make that my sole purpose here, but it's definitely something that I plan on focusing on. I hope you can use it, because I don't know what else to do with it. So, when are you going to show me some alchemy? Not that it's probably anything to act all important about. Well, I'm going to show you the alchemy now. I can make a lot more than weapons. That's it. I do like how much Isla is inclined to argue with him. I like that she does not take his attitude lying down. Alright. North of the Arbor Botanical Garden. Was that a place that we've been to yet? I think that's the location that we went right before we met Rutger. Or, not necessarily right before, but prior to doing so. Alright. So yes, of course, we have our next objective in mind. It seems that Rutger has some objections, however. Well, I imagine we're probably going to be able to figure out some way to get around that. Perhaps get through it. Yes, whether it be some sort of tool or... Okay, it looks like we'll be asking the Elvers. It'll give us an idea. I was going to suggest that we make some sort of explosive, perhaps, to get through a rock wall or something, but... I think they're amazed at the fact that Rutger has had a good idea. As expected of a seasoned adventurer.
全の冒険者だね、ルトが。嫌がってた割にはしっかり助言もしてくれるし。
Yes, they are in fact quite surprised.
団長が一目置く理由もわかる。
なんでもいい。そうと決まったらさっさと準備していくぞ。
Well, we're going to be more focused on the getting ready part than on the going part, but
そういう姿勢は好感が持てるが。
Victor's not necessarily fully impressed, but
やっぱり悪い人じゃないってことなんですかね。
協力する気があるなら文句言わないで手伝えっての。
alright. Well, once again, we do have some ideas, or we have some other things to take care of.
北の樹海の中だよね。
So yeah, so
森に入るんだ。早速錬金術師が作った武器を試せるかもね。
speaking of testing the new
せっかく作
weapon,
ったんだから大切に使ってよ。
let's go pick a fight. I feel like the creatures that we encounter are probably going to go down pretty easily, so we might actually want to not bother with it right
周
now.
辺の安全を確認。
Actually, hold on.
休
Did I
息が可能です。
thought maybe I saw particles there for a second, but maybe that was just the like particles as in the particles that we can collect. That might have just been a particle effect from, you know, walking into a safe area or something. Maybe I just mistook something. Anyway, speaking of... Oh, Rutger's here. Oh, right, I forgot that our party members just kind of hang around places sometimes. I don't think anyone else is in here, per se. Anyway, so yes, shouldn't be getting too distracted. Once again, I was going to think about getting some new recipes, or perhaps improving the ones that we already have. It looks like we've gotten a fair amount of particles, but not like a lot of them. Calming Harp. That sounds interesting. And we've got a pretty abundant supply of the particles necessary to get that recipe. So why not? Alright, so what does this do? A wooden harp decorated with colorful plants. The sound it makes is like a bird's song. It's said to be able to cure illnesses. There are many confirmed cases of it actually curing people. Alright. That doesn't tell me what it does, but I'm glad that that's true. Alright. Let's learn about the Sadness Shuttle. Made from a scream of despair and or requiring knowledge of a scream of despair and of the blessing of delusion. A shuttlecock steeped in miasma. It explodes on impact, spreading the unpleasant stuff inside. How the crowd earned its name, anyone who gets hit by it will soon find out. It seems that my dog has some thoughts on that. Ah, okay, we can now craft, or we can learn how to craft prosperous spellbooks. I never unlocked... I thought I had oh no, I found one of these. Okay. Right. Yeah, being able to make a full set of tools for everyone would be good. But yeah, I would assume from the description of it, the Calming Harp probably is a restorative item, so that wouldn't be equipped to a specific party member, I don't think. Yeah, we do actually have quite a few particles at this point. Yes, a magical tome detailing techniques to draw out the power of plants. You could always sit down and read it, but using it as an alchemy ingredient is a much easier way to release its power. Alright. Lucynite. A piece of amber that is completely free of impurities. Despite being considered a type of jewel, it is flammable and can be used as a fuel source. Of course, you'd lose the amber if you used it like that. Primal Remains. A tool made from the remains of ancient creatures. Using this tool for synthesis will draw out the animal's power hidden within and enhance the tool's efficacy. Honey. Sweet viscous honey, or sweet viscous liquid gathered from beehives. Its high nutritional value makes it a popular health food and ingredient for cooking. And a lucky leaf bell. we could go and increase some of our intermediary items. So sort of the things that we would turn our raw materials in and then use those for crafting again. Yeah. Again, I do want to improve the neutralizers whenever I get the chance. Because again, better neutralizers means that we can use them to make better items, basically. A bell created using trees from a vast forest. Despite using no metal, the sound the bell makes a clear and beautiful sound. Legend has it that whoever rings the bell will be protected from evil. So yes, I don't know if I'm going to do that now, per se. But we definitely have the means to do quite a bit. Okay, we can improve the quality. I think I'd also want to improve the quantity. Again, if we want to be spending more time working on these. Yeah, it looks like we're not going to be unlocking a whole lot of levels and a whole lot of these. But we did just unlock a whole lot of recipes, so maybe using up a good amount of particles isn't the worst thing in the world. Okay. I was a little bit worried that I had leveled it up more than the others, but I guess it's not the worst thing in the world if I have them slightly out of sync. Is it just me, or do these require different amounts of particles? I think it might just be me. Oh no. Okay, so the green neutralizer does require more particles. Interesting. Get to level 4. I guess perhaps these particles might be a little bit more common, maybe? I suppose we do have... I think we have... That is the one that we have the most of, even after using it as much as we have, yeah. So yeah, it seems that that is at least anecdotally true. But yeah. Other than that... Yeah, we are low on yellow particles. Which is a little bit unfortunate, but, you know, not the worst thing in the world. Alright, so, synthesis. Yeah, despite improving these, I don't think we're going to spend a lot of time making really good ones. I guess we could. I don't know. Okay. So what is defense down? Does that mean that it always inflicts defense down, or does that mean that defense down is simply part of it? Okay, I guess, yeah. These say activated effects. So Calming Harp. That is HP recovery, but this is also HP recovery. I wonder if the Calming Harp then maybe heals the whole party, where the Woodland Remedy only heals one person. Actually, no, it says AoE single, so presumably that just means one person. But yeah, Sadness Shuttle inflicts defense down. So yeah, I suppose since we have characters that, or since we have Yumia who deals more damage with items, it's probably best to keep items that do damage on her. Or at the very least, maybe fill all of her slots with items that do damage to maximize the damage of said items. But yes, other things can be spread out amongst our other party members a little bit. But yeah, okay, so the Lucky Leaf Bell doesn't do anything on its own. Neither does this gel. Okay. So yeah, so again, that's what I'm sort of talking about when I say intermediary items. So things that can't be used themselves. Things that don't have an actual use, like the tools, but which are used for crafting. So yeah. Again, it's a way to take your raw materials, which perhaps aren't very good, make them into better things, and so on and so forth. So yeah, so I suppose, again, since we do have the greenhouse now, since that is an option, probably we want to make sure that we're not using the very, very best of our ingredients that we've gathered, necessarily. But yeah, so, again, we can get quite a bit. Did I not level up the red? I thought I did. Was that the one that we ran out of particles on? I suppose it must be. I know it's not actually a problem, necessarily, but if I'm going to go through the trouble of leveling them up, I'd at least like them all to be leveled up to the point where they're getting, where I'm getting more of them. Yeah, I suppose with this then, we are now at a point where I have gotten, I have quite a few neutralizers. So we might want to use some neutralizers in the crafting of neutralizers. Yeah, let's get a better idea of what we're doing though first. So, so nomadic clothing is maximum HP, so that would definitely be good on Rutger. Hunter's wear is maximum defense. I don't know if we have any characters, or not maximum defense, just defense. I don't know if we have any characters who particularly care about defense. All of them do, I suppose, but I don't know if we have any characters that I think would necessarily be like a tank or anything like that. I don't think any of our characters have the ability to draw enemy attention so far, at least not from what I've seen. So yes, anyway. So with that, since we don't have any characters who specifically benefit from maximum HP, I think probably this would be good on most other characters without, most other characters if we don't have a reason to use something else. So yeah, and again, yeah, okay. Yeah, so damage up. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to make some cloth. We're going to make some cloth because both of these require cloth. We might as well go ahead and make new weapons as well, I suppose. So yeah, other things we can make. We've got quite a few other things that we can make, actually. Anyway, so again, we're going to start with cloth. We already got some cloth, but we can make better cloth. And again, if I want to make gear, I want some pretty good cloth, if at all possible. So yeah, I wonder... I don't think we want to auto-add ingredients, because again, I want to make sure I'm not using up the very last of anything that's very good. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm not using the very last of anything that is especially good, so that we don't lose out on too much value. So yes. Again, I'm not 100% sure... I keep saying this, but I'm not 100% sure if there's any restrictions on what we can put in the greenhouse. So maybe for now we should just assume that there aren't. Anyway, all the mana is here. So for now we can just focus on resonance. Yeah, I don't think it lets me sort by resonance. Actually, resonance isn't the size of the resonance area, is it? Okay, it looks like it is, actually. That makes sense, I suppose. Because, yeah, okay. Yeah, because every time the resonance number changes, the resonance area also changes. And of course, we have some items that, have benefits, but... Alright, anyway. So yeah, so with that, I suppose we can worry about quality mostly. Oops, quality. Again, as an intermediary item, we might not want to worry too much about it. But again, higher quality ingredients means higher quality crafting, like, results. There we go. Alright. At the very least, we'd like to make cloth that's at least as good, if not better than this. I don't know how feasible that is, but we can try at least. Alright. Yes. So, quality. I don't know. Honestly, you probably can't get... Interesting that cloth counts as a plant. I guess, okay, yeah, it does tell you. It shows icons. I wonder, does it? Okay, yeah, so... Yeah, we can go into the menu to see what the icons specifically mean. Okay, okay. So yeah, so given that there does seem to be specifically an ingredient, what's the word I'm looking for? Ingredient. What is the word I'm looking for? Category. Yeah, because this is not an ingredient. So given that, it does seem reasonable to assume, because they did mention, I'm pretty sure that they mentioned the word ingredient specifically. I suppose we'll put just use that. It feels a little bit strange to use cloth to make cloth. I don't know if the cloth that we'll make will actually genuinely be better than the cloth that we already have, so... Oops. I don't know that the cloth we have... Yeah, I don't know that the cloth we will make will necessarily be better than the cloth we already have, so maybe we don't necessarily want to make that investment. Alright, so we don't need a lot of resonance for this. Basically any at all would be fine, but we'll go for 2 just so we can get that mana. Alright, so... yeah, that is everything it should be. Yeah, because there's only 2 cores. Okay. So yeah, so the quality is lower. It has a higher defense bonus, so that could be useful. But yes, I suppose that allows us to add a defense increase to the nomadic clothing. Because I don't think any of these give me max HP up or anything, no. Quality up. Quality up. Yeah. No max HP up, just on the... I guess we could use nomadic clothing to make nomadic clothing, which also feels a little bit strange, but it's an option. Anyway, tough vine. Alright. Ice. Yeah. So again, with that, yeah, this is synthesis. So presumably you also, and again, this is just sort of a wild guess, but presumably you also can't, because it does feel weird that you would be able to, but presumably you also can't synthesize neutralizers, or you can't grow neutralizers in the greenhouse, rather. Alright, and yeah, again, we don't need a whole lot more resonance to get the next level, so we shouldn't worry too much about it, basically. Alright, yeah, so that is a pretty decent amount of additional HP. Yes, we need cloth to improve the this core. Alright, this is air. So yeah, so the green neutralizers are going to be best in slot for that. But do we need to use the best of our green neutralizers? It looks like not. We might need to... Okay, I don't think... Yeah, we're not getting that mana, actually. Never mind. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure if we are, but we definitely are not. Oh well. We probably weren't going to get more than 1 core anyway. I guess the mana doesn't have anything to do with that, but... Anyway, plants. Yeah, so I don't think we can get mana off of the first item that we put in. That is the foundation of the core, so we should probably focus on quality. Alright. Fire. Oops. Alright, one of these days I'll get used to this mechanic. Okay. Yeah, so... Am I... Okay, yes, I am sorting by resonance. I was thinking that we had some red... Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, I was thinking we had red neutralizers, and I was thinking correctly. Alright. So yeah, so... I don't... Can we not add enough resonance to push us over into another category? It looks like not, no. Anyway. So with that, it's fine. I don't know. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I would like to see your fight at some point today. Again, I'm not going to be too sad if we don't, but... Alright, anyway, so, XP up. I wonder what the base level of XP up is. Oops. No, hold on. So yeah, so it doesn't tell me what the specifics of that are. Stone. So, interesting that the yellow neutralizer counts as stone. Is that a trait of all yellow neutralizers, or did I somehow make them count as stone? It doesn't say so in the effect, so I'm assuming that it just means stone. They just happen to be a type of stone as far as the game is concerned. And you know what? If the game's going to say that, who am I to argue? Anyway, mana. We could get more... no, actually we couldn't. Unless it's not... No, it is sorted by resonance. Yeah, as expected. So yeah, so it looks like this is another one where we're not going to get all the mana, but it's fine. It's fine, basically. Yeah, we could get a little bit more, but I don't necessarily want to use that spun thread if I can avoid it. So yeah, so we'll live with, I don't know, we can just throw in some neutralizers, more or less at random. There might be something here that could be good. Something with more defense up or something. Let's see. We've got things with quality up. We can actually probably, yeah, we can sort by effects. Do we have anything with defense up? It might help if I actually apply the filter. Hold on. Alright. So yeah, so we do have, oh, right, the cloth. So yeah, I suppose if we keep using cloth, we can keep getting more defense, actually. That could be nice. I guess it never really occurred to me to use it more than once. So yeah, with that then... Oh, okay, we don't have anything that is a thread and also has cloth, or yeah, thread and has defense up. Alright, anyway, so... Unthread is going to be our best thread, I think. Most likely, yeah. But we don't need to worry about it too much. But yes, so we do have an ad coming up. I think I'm going to play the ad, and I'm going to keep doing this while the ad is running. But yes. Yeah, I'm going to keep synthesizing while the ad is running. I might do a little bit of stretching, but anyway, one way or the other, it is time for a break. So yes, we will be right back. Alright, we have returned. I have returned, perhaps even. I don't know if you left or not. Anyway, so yes. So, we'll put... When did we get this? Well, I don't know when we got it, but I definitely know we want to keep it. So yes, we'll put the wrist weight on Rutger, that's his name. So yes, we'll give him the scarf, and we'll give him... Which one has the HP up? I guess they all do, but this one has the most HP up. This one has a trait crystal slot, though, so... Honestly, I think we might go for the trait crystal one. I don't know if we have a lot of trait crystals to go around. We don't, but... Oh well. Anyway. Well, yeah, it's fine. We put it on him, so we might as well keep it on him. So, with that, Rutger's all decked out. And do we want to concern ourselves much with the gear of our other party members? Maybe not? I don't know. I wonder. Unfortunately, since we don't know the exact stats of all the enemies that we're going to face. Okay, this does give us an... Okay, this gives us an attack or an item damage bonus, so that's good. We want to try and lean into Atelier Yumia. Wrong part of the title. We want to lean into Yumia's strengths as much as we can, as we mentioned. So yes, whoops. So, we can give her more stats overall at the cost of a little bit less attack. And such a slight decrease in attack, I think it's pretty fair. But yes. As for Victor, he's not on the team right now, so I'm not that concerned, honestly. So yes. So, as we were saying, items. So Victor doesn't have any items and could use plenty of them. So yeah, we don't have enough to go around, so we'll have to make some more at some point, but I think nobody's actually decked out and completely in items, are they? Actually. Okay, so hold on. So these are... Yeah, these are the weapons. I suppose we should probably make sure that Yumia has a full set of each element, shouldn't we? Anyway. And make sure that all the others are at least on someone. Yeah, I was going to say, I wanted to preserve some slots for other things, like the Sadness Shuttles, perhaps, but it looks like the Sadness Shuttles do not, in fact, go into these slots. Interesting. In that case, I suppose they are support items, huh? Not what I was expecting, but it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, I guess... What is this? Attack boost? I don't know if we particularly care about one or the other at this point. Again, we're fighting things that aren't too challenging for us. I suppose we should probably also start spending some skill points, because we've got quite a few at this point. We've got some more skill options as well, it seems. Yes, conserve materials. Trait comprehension. Oh, okay, so this is related to trait blending, which we haven't done yet, but we don't really have an abundance of trait crystals, so I don't really want to mess with it too much. Yeah, so we have quite a bit of, quite a high quality limit already, so we don't need to worry about it too much. It's definitely not within our, not anything that we need to worry about currently. We aren't running into that limit anytime soon. Yeah, we want more materials. We want better materials, I think, is going to be the best thing to get in the short term. Yeah, better materials. Yes. Food, more food buffs could be good. We don't do that much. We don't cook much, but again, that's something that is fixable. Precision counter. Interesting. It looks like we're going to unlock another mechanic here. Increases XP gained. Rare rewards could be good. Currently we don't do a lot of fighting, but again, I can fix that. So if we do some more fighting, or yeah, I might be more inclined to do more fighting if we got more out of fighting. Alright. Other than that, anything else that we are concerned with? Not really. Not really. I think we're probably... Particle conversion could be good, considering we have a... Yeah, we have a pretty significant abundance of some particles and a pretty significant deficit of others. Yeah, why not? Alright, we're going to pick up a few more mechanics here. Alright, by learning the particle conversion skill, you can convert large particles into smaller sized ones. However, particle conversion can only be used to convert particles to smaller particles of the same element. Oh, okay.
水の中を覗いて
I don't know what this means. Interesting. So, we can convert particles, but we can convert larger particles into smaller particles, and I don't ever remember getting particles of differing sizes? I wondered if it might have something to do with this, this table here, but it seems that that is not the case. Is that something that we do at the synthesis table? It's not a table, I suppose, but... no, it seems like. Alright, what am I doing now? I suppose maybe we need to collect large particles? Somehow? Do you have anything to say about particles, perhaps? Okay, no, this seems to be the precision counter tutorial. Which we could also probably use, but... One of these days I do need to go around and do some quests. Anyway. So, nobody in the immediate area seems to have anything to say on the topic of, particles. So, I suppose that's going to be a mystery for another time, perhaps. Tell me about precision counters. Don't we all want to look as stylish as possible when fighting? Stuff like this is why I like Isla. Yes, please, tell me more. I would like to fight with more style and elegance. I want to overflow with style and elegance. An absolute deluge.
ああ、唐突だ。だが、よくよく話を聞いてみると、アイラなりに理にかなった考えでもある。
Alright, please, tell me more. My thoughts exactly, Yumia. Coordinating together to counterattack. Yeah, I remember there's a counterattack mechanic. I don't recall how to use it. Yes, happens a lot. Well, I don't know why I'm reading her dialogue suddenly. Anyway. Switch out with a partner and strike back with a counter. Interesting, interesting.
アイラはスタイリッシュに戦いたいというが、実際これは味方の隙をカバーするいいアイデアだ。やってみる価値はあると僕も思っている。どうだ?
Well, I'm down for some testing.
もちろん、異論はないです。近くの魔物で試してみましょう。
Alright.
でもアイラ、なんで突然そんなことを?
Well, you see, we went into the skill tree screen.
他の団員に見ていて危なっかしいとしたり顔で指摘されたらしい。その反骨心だろうな。
Alright, we only have one other team member that isn't in this conversation.
僕ならこれに戦いたいって思っただけだよ。言われてムカついたとかじゃないよ。全然。
I wonder if you can trigger that conversation before. Do we need to talk to Isla again, or do we need to just go and get into a fight? It seems that we just need to go and get into a fight. Is there a fight to be had up here? Anyway, as I was saying, I wonder if you can trigger that conversation with the mention of how another team member called her dangerous. Yes. Before you encounter Rutger. Alright, whoops. Yes, when Rutger spends his own HP, he inflicts wounds on an enemy in proportion to the amount of HP spent. When an enemy has 10 stacks of wounds, the wounds disappear and deal massive damage to the enemy. Okay. Alright, so. This doesn't seem to be... Oh. Oh, interesting. Oh, right. I remember now. I'm supposed to be sort of alternating between his abilities. So yes, that doesn't seem to have taught us much about what we're doing here, but I suppose that's because it was a normal fight and not a tutorial. But I suppose we'll have to figure things out for ourselves, more or less. Because yeah, again, the game didn't give us much of a tutorial prompt. I don't know what it means by swap out. Well, plenty of fish in the sea, and plenty of fish on the land to get into a fight with. Plenty of raptors, perhaps, too. Alright. So yes. Right, okay, so yes. So, vampirize... Actually, hold on. Oh, okay. So now I get it now. Okay. So yes. So yeah, anyway. So, to share with the class the observation that I made. Whoops. Whoops. Yeah. Okay. What was I going to say? Hold on, I got a little bit wrapped up in the fight here, but yes. So when I swap to another character, specifically that causes the counter. It's not anything that you really need to do in particular. All right. Treasure. All up ice damage. Okay. Right, so I guess I was going to say we should probably wait to use vampirize and things like that until after we've lost some health. But I guess he didn't go into the battle with max health, so. Alright. Alright, not bad. Yeah, Rutger's got some fun animations on him. Yes. Oh yeah, okay. So we now have sorrow particles small. So presumably that means that we will get non-small sorrow particles at some point and then make them into smaller sorrow particles? Maybe? Again, it didn't tell me how to convert particles, so maybe it just happens. Alright. Alright. Not bad. Oops. Yes. So yeah, so we've gotten some things from these raptors. Nothing too exciting so far. I wonder if the bigger, shinier raptors will give us something new. Actually, are these rock lizards? Have I been calling them the wrong thing this whole time? It seems like maybe so. Alright, not bad, not bad. Yeah, still a pretty quick and easy fight there. Wardenite. Okay, that's new. I remember that we can get some benefit out of shooting a creature quite a bit. I don't know what in particular it does. But yeah, I also don't know how much HP Rutger is using or is losing when he uses his self-damaging skills. You might want to keep an eye on that. He seems to be doing alright. Yeah, he's definitely not substantially weaker than anyone else. Yeah, not substantially weaker than anyone else. And in fact, he has, or not substantially lower health than anyone else. And in fact, he actually has a fair amount more health proportionally. Oh, did I think I just started a dangerous fight. I don't know if this is necessarily a fight that I want to be involved in, but I am, so... Alright. So yeah, I wonder... Okay, so yeah, so... Oh, actually, yeah. Yeah, so they're... Yeah, their cooldowns and all that seem to be as normal. Alright. So... What I was thinking is that Isla here is a little bit low on HP, so... I wonder if we could... Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so this will probably pretty substantially improve our ability to survive harder fights. Alright, there we go. Very good. So yeah, given the fact that we now know that we can only equip... it seems so far, anyway, that we can only equip damaging tools. We might want to focus on making sure that everyone has a damaging weapon. Rather than, as I was thinking before, or yeah, make sure everyone has a weapon of each element, I should say, rather. A damaging weapon of each element, or a damaging tool of each element. But yes, making sure everyone has Spirit Force Soul. Interesting. Where was I? But yes, everyone has a damaging tool of every element, so that we can make sure that everyone is able to follow up when the opportunity arises. Yeah, given circumstances, the fact that Isla is pretty low on health, we might want to control her directly, and, well, I guess we don't need to control her specifically. I was going to say control her directly and use that opportunity to heal her, but we don't need to use her to heal her. We can use Rutger to heal her, or Yumia, or Victor, anyone. But yes, so... While I'm in a monster walloping mood. Alright, so, let's... Yes, Woodland Remedy on Isla. Oop. There we are. Alright, not bad. Probably gained more health than we lost. Oop. Articles. Alright. So, we got some neutral particles, we got delight particles. So yeah, the existence of neutral particles is also interesting. I wonder if we just haven't unlocked whatever facility is used for particle manipulation. Because again, we've got... Is this? Ah, this is a puzzle. So yes. We've got various sorts of particles. We've got neutral particles. The game is now making a distinction between small, or at the very least... I don't know, actually, now that I think about it. I was going to say it's now making a distinction between small and non-small particles. But I don't know that it is. I don't know if it didn't always say that, because I definitely wasn't paying attention previously. Ah, memory vial also. Alright. So yes.
調査記録の充実はフラミーの重要な仕事です。
Alright. See, I'm interested now, as I was saying, I'm interested now that we've been fighting things and getting special stuff for it. I'm interested in getting some more materials from fighting more beasts. Yeah, also, while we're in the area, another thing is we do need to defeat a specific beaver. I imagine it's probably in this general area. That's not it. We might need to... Oh, pardon me, I was trying to describe my thought process here. Rude. Alright, anyway. Alright, unfortunate that. Alright, there we go. Alright, head over here, and alright, fight's over. Very good. Alright, so, we probably need to go into our quest screen, get an idea of where the beaver is. Quest control 2, okay. Or no. Yes, yeah, defeat the specified Grim Beaver. So yes. So, where might said Grim Beaver be? Okay, it's over here, so nowhere near where I thought. Fair enough. Actually, I suppose it is getting a little bit late at this point. Not terribly so. I imagine we have enough time to fight a beaver and build a fence, but yeah, definitely getting more used to streaming. Definitely getting more used to streaming more as well. The battle begins. No time to worry about whether or not we're in trouble. Alright. Alright. Still not quite set on the timing of skills and whatnot, but oh well. Alright, not bad, not bad. Not amazing, but not bad. Alright. Very good, very good. Alright, we are the Beaver Cleaver. And we got a special tooth out of it. Nice. So yeah, so with that, let's put a fence down. We need to build the fence before we can put a fence down, I realize. Workbench, I suppose? Can we? Yes, we can make a workbench. Can we place it? Yes, we can. This feels like a strange place to put it, but oh well. But of course, the problem with the fence is that the fence is made of wood. Oh no, never mind. This fence is not made of wood. At least not entirely. I was going to make a joke about the beaver being able to probably chew through it, but looks like that's not quite a huge concern. Alright. Right, okay, over here. Quite an impressive fence, too. Do we need to just place down the one? I don't think we have much room to place more than one. Yeah, okay. I wonder if there's another fence that we could have made, because this one doesn't really match the aesthetic here. No, it seems. Unfortunate, but what can you do? Anyway, I don't like this, I don't like this being here, so I'm also going to get rid of it. Yes. Can we? There we go. Whoop, nope. Alright. There we go. Okay. Ah. Yes. Pick up this. There we go. And store it. There we go. Okay. So, we have solved the beaver problem and installed a not particularly aesthetically pleasing. It looks fine on its own, but it doesn't match the aesthetic here. We took out the boss beaver and built a fence. Thank you. Now I can focus my attention back on farming. It's not really much of a reward for what you've done, but feel free to help yourselves to anything here. Good, because we've already been doing that. Oddly enough, this climate is incredibly well suited to growing crops. Go on, don't be shy. Grab whatever you want. Alright, thank you for your permission, even though I didn't respect it necessarily previously. Alright. While we're here, we might as well pick up everything that we can. I was hoping we could maybe see Yumia through the fence. Could we? No. Yeah, anytime that it would be between us and the camera, it simply will not allow that. Unfortunate, but what can you do? I wish there was something we could do about this fence, but I guess until we get a... I mean, I guess we probably don't need to keep it here, necessarily. But it feels rude to make a fence for the man and then remove it simply because we don't like the look of it. We made the fence, after all. So if it is offensive to my eyes, then I have no one but me to blame. So yes, maybe someday we'll get a fence that better matches, but oh well. So, with that, let's get ready to wrap up. Alright, so yes. So, with that, if anyone has any raid suggestions, I would be delighted to hear them, as always. If not, I can find a target on my own. And so, let's see, what else is there to say? Not a whole lot, I suppose. So yeah, again, Arknights tomorrow. Next week, I'm planning on Monday and Tuesday, and then Thursday through Saturday. Yeah, no stream on Wednesday. Yeah, going forward, where possible, that will most likely be the case. But things can always change, and Monday in particular is a day that is more likely to change than others for me. But it is also a day that I would prefer to be streaming rather than Wednesday, because I work. I don't work late on Wednesday, I work early on Wednesday, and I work till the same amount of time, so generally speaking, I'm more tired at the end of the day on Wednesday than I am on other days. Not that this necessarily prevents me from streaming, but if I'd like to have a day off, if I can get a day off, I get 2 days off a week from streaming, I'd like to have at least one of them be on a day when I have a lot of other things to do, so that I can do other things when I get home, other than stream. I suppose I still can, but it gives me more time to do that. Anyway, so yes. So, with all that, I'm not seeing any raid suggestions. So I think tonight we're going to go and watch Physicist. Or go and visit Physicist. We'll watch him while we're there, I suppose, but yes, we will go and drop by, say hi. Yeah, Physicist is playing some more Dark Souls 3 with the Convergence mod. Yes, he's been role-playing a caveman who has just discovered fire is his character gimmick, so he's been specializing in pyromancy. Yes, I know that the Convergence mod adds a whole lot of different magic options and whatnot to the game, so you're likely to see something that you haven't seen before, even if you've seen quite a bit of Dark Souls 3. But yeah, there's also been another number of other features another number of other changes, some that I've seen while watching Physicist stream, and probably others that I have seen or probably others that I have not seen while I have not been watching it. It'd be very strange if the only things that changed happened to be exactly during the times that I was watching the stream. Anyway. So yeah, I'm liking Rutger so far. He's interesting. He's funny to have around. But yeah, when we visited Lumi the other day, she mentioned that Rutger was her favorite character. So we've got high hopes for him in the future. Not that he hasn't been fun already, but we'll get to see more of his character as things go on. So yes, so anyway, with all that, Physicist, we will set up the raid. Alright, and I spelled it right this time, nice. So yes, so, with all that, the customary raid message is, as always, we have arrived. And so, thank you all for being here tonight. I hope that you have had a fine night. I hope that you'll continue to have a fine night every night. And I hope that you'll be well till the next time I see you. Thank you all very much, and farewell. And before I go, I'm just going to mention that I will probably be doing some more crafting off stream, most likely. Refining a few more of our raw materials and whatnot. But anyway, I suppose that doesn't necessarily need to be said, but I like to make these things clear ahead of time. I usually don't play the games much off stream, if at all. But this is the sort of game where I feel like that would be more warranted. Because again, a lot of the synthesis probably isn't not super engaging to watch. But anyway, I'm running out the clock. So, thank you all for being here. Good night. Farewell. I already went through my ending spiel, so I suppose there's no point in going over it all again. Farewell.